I saw a video about this guy, but I don't know if I don't remember where I put it, where I uploaded, but you know, Raymond Landro, I don't wanna, that's his, I guess, wife, girlfriend, wife, whatever. I remember this being his mom. She was very obese, and I remember Raymond always called me white boy. To the point where I would go over their backyard, and they lived on, I believe, Loomis or Rankin. I think Loomis. You know, and so it was like 2 blocks away, and it was like it was always just drama in his backyard. They always come about, especially Raymond, Paul as well. He was like, here, here, here. That's how Paul would laugh. And Paul was just this big, he was goofy sometimes, but it was always drama. Mario Tello. I made a video about Mario Tello. He's supposed to be like he's friends with Joe Budden. I think Mario Tello, Lisa Lampanelli stole Mario's joke about some gayness and ass crack and lollipops. Mario, he used to be friends with Raymond right here, but he was just like so ridiculous. I started talking, making fun of him. It's like they just hated me. I remember Paul Landro. He always told me girls only like big, strong Puerto Rican guys. They don't like corny white boys or like white kids. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? And there was one time, and I don't know if it came down like Lucas there, there Paul is like, except I remember it was me, and Paul was just an arrogant douchebag, he's just an arrogant prick. He was a couple inches taller than me. He was just like a little bit bigger. He was like, I think he was the same age as me, but he was a little bit taller. We were playing soccer, and it's like I couldn't move swiftly with the ball, and Paul couldn't get the ball, so he started swinging his leg like he was going to kick me or punch me. I think Raymond said something. He like started beating him up. So I was like, what the fuck is that? There's some chick that lived there on Atlantic Street, and it's like, they would hang out with her. She was just like reddish hair, and I never spent too much time with her. I kind of wrestled her brother Rocky, but it's like it was that white boy stuck with me. I think I went to 6th grade, and it's like well, let me see. My cousin Robert came, and Robert was just all right with them. They never called him white, but if they did, it was just jokes. Like, no, we're playing with you. You're cool. He's not. So it always degraded to the color of my skin. I thought it was just so racial and disgusting. They were just like creepers. And Raymond was always fat, and nothing wrong with that. But it's like his brother always, they used to him and this guy, Chris, who I thought that's what they called him, Chris. It just like I thought they knew my ex-girlfriend Cynthia. I didn't put it together till years later. I felt like Cynthia had family from like Elizabeth, a couple of blocks where I lived. It was just very odd. I still don't know to this day, because Cynthia, I just want to answer. Cynthia talks about being this happening to her, that happened to her. I don't know half the time it's true or not, but she says a lot of things I did, which isn't even true, even in our relationship. So people make a lot of stuff up, but they never really liked me. And I stopped hanging out with them. I just didn't want anything to do with them. I think one of the last times, I talked about Martell. It's like, he did a move at me in like football, and we just like we played for cards or something like that. It was just like they just I never really liked them after that. It wasn't after the football game, just that white boy stuff. I never like coming over their house to play basketball anyway. They were just always gross and nasty. They just like their rooms were dirty, and it was like I remember their mom called my mom for jobs, and she was just overweight. She probably couldn't even move. I just felt bad, but it's like I don't want to get into that. And mom was like, I'm just like I'm like 3-4 years here in the States, like maybe 3 years. It's like, why is she finding her own work? It's like she's cleaning houses. It was just very odd. And I think Lucas went over their house, and like because it was a childhood friend, and like he tried to be kind to them. They had roaches, and like he brought, I think he went from either raccoon or opossum. That's what I would have done. We kind of thought the same thing, and he wanted to put it in the house so it would deter the roaches. But it's like it's like you're too nice to people, and like they step all over you. He shouldn't even done that. And like he bent over backwards. I wouldn't have done that. Except people come into our lives and we're like, oh, this and that. Oh, all right, maybe I'll help you out. Not anymore, but they just. I remember always Raymond as well. It's like white boy this, white boy that. It's like, what the fuck is that shit? Like, go fuck yourself, bro. I did message him. I'm waiting if he responds. He does know me. I said, I told him. Oh, let me see. Let me see. Oh, fuck, it's like this camera is like, I did message him right here. I said, hey, Raymond, it's Lucas from Elizabeth. The kid Chris, he was just like, he had like kind of, he had a ponytail, and he was just like very short. I thought for some reason like Cynthia might be, that might be actually Troy. Like the way she described him, a grimy dude. I still don't know to this day. I don't know if I told her about that. It'd be very odd. She would lie about it. But, it was just like something weird about him. He used to tell her like he had a shotgun in his pant leg. And we were all like 13, 14. I didn't want anything to do with him. This kid was there was another kid, Michael. He was always dirty and sweaty. They're just grimy little kids. He was a white guy too. Chris was white as hell. They didn't call him white boy. If they did, they would just like fart over there, but they never did that. It was like that was like the ultimate sign of disrespect. They did it to me all the time. So I never want to do anything with them. Yeah, I remember Michael, he worked at a McDonald's, and like, later I saw him like 97, 98. I pulled up, and he was just like, he just yelling at me through a McDonald's drive-thru. He knew who I was, so yeah, like a little bitch, like a cunt. He talked about me and Michael got in a confrontation. He just cowered down. When it came down to it, he didn't want to fight. He was a pussy. He was a coward. Like, it's like, you're gonna aggravate, you come to my house, you're gonna disrespect me and stuff. I remember one time, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Paul. He just came to my house, he just grabbed me by the testicles. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know if I smacked him or something, but like eventually, like he was just laughing, like here. He struck me as a bit bizarre. Like, you don't grab another kid by the balls like that. I don't know if it was over some like video game I didn't return to him or I didn't give to him. He just came over and did that. And then his mom like said sorry, this and that. I was like, fuck you. I don't give a fuck about any of you, But yeah, it just like there was a couple people that hang out with him. Mario, Chris, that kid Mike, Paul, there was Raymond, and my cousin Robert. Robert they call Frenchie. Like Paul started calling him Frenchie. I was like, he's not even French. He's not even from France, bro. Why do you even call him that? I think it was the corniest thing ever. It was like the stupidest shit ever. It's like, then later Robert started crying or some shit. Actually, Robert, it's a funny story. A couple months ago, I'm texting him about, how, like, he might be psychotic, he might be hurting somebody. And, how, like, people, his dad, like, abused them, and, like, everyone family abused them. And he starts telling me that Mario Tello, it's like, me and Mario used to laugh at him. Like, bro, aren't you, like, 40 already? Like, that's some random, I'm not even talking about Mario. It's some random stuff, but I was talking about Angel Ramirez. Because I wanted to talk to him about terrorists. And then Robert brings up, like, oh, you and Mario started laughing at him. I'm like, bro, like, fucking grow up. Are you gonna emotionally stressed? Are you high? What, you crying over there? What's going on? But it just, those were my childhood friends. And, it's like, I never saw too much of them. I think I saw them right when I got my license. It was something weird. Like, I think I called them, and they lived a couple blocks away, but we didn't talk for, like, a couple years. And, and I drove, or they came over my house, and like, me and Raymond, like, we drove somewhere, but that was like the last time I really saw them, and that to my understanding. I had a feeling like Paul lives around here, but I'm not gonna say for certain. I just thought he lived in the condominiums before me. It's like people trying to instigate that, and I think, I thought it was the Peach or something that a year and a half ago was walking from my house when someone was trying to, like, I felt like somebody was doing drugs and a daughter might have overdosed. Something like that, and as soon as I just caught feelings about that, it's like this girl, a perka pulled over her walking with a dog in front of my house, and she stood there and like I think she like she was recording me. It was just very odd. So that was the last time I kind of thought about not so much Rain, but about Paul. It's like that. But I was really actually thinking about Death Show too. I thought that was a Peach, and like he was in on that. So I was just like creeped out by that, and I think I talked to Dev about that, but he doesn't live around here, something like that. And just like, I'm not going around doing my investigative work, just, looking at where people live, but just like people come in your life, this and the other thing, just, that white boy thing, it just sticks with people. It's so racially motivated to reduce somebody to a color. Like, I'm not a child, I was more adult, and so was Lucas before, you were in Pampers, even, your mommy could afford Pampers for you. So we were more adults before you. We're not boys. You're just projecting on it because, you're insecure about whatever you're going through, and you're projecting onto me. I try to talk these people over and over. They won't message me, They cower down this and that. Whatever life they're living, hey, I don't give a fuck. I could care fucking less. Just leave me the fuck out of yours.